Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. In this week's Parsha, we have the fascinating story where Yehuda and Yosef and all the brothers reunite. And right before Yosef reveals himself to the brothers, he says something really interesting. He tells all the Egyptians to leave the room. And only then does he reveal himself. Why? What's going on? So Rashi explains that Yosef didn't want to embarrass the brothers. He's going to be talking about some embarrassing stuff. The fact that they sold him down to Mitzrayim. And he's so sensitive to that moment, he said, I don't want to embarrass them, let's get everyone out of the room. In fact, in last week's Torah portion, we have another example of this sensitivity for not embarrassing somebody else, and that's the story with Yehuda and Tamar, where Tamar sends to Yehuda and asks him, is this your patil and chotemet, your stamp, your signet ring? Instead of just accusing Yehuda, which would embarrass him in public, she gives him an out. From here, the Gemara in Bava Metzia teaches that it's better to throw yourself into a fiery furnace than it would be to embarrass somebody else in public. In fact, this is taken so seriously by the poskim that some believe that it's actually one of the 3 cardinal sins that you have to give your life for rather than commit this sin of embarrassing somebody in public. Whether we do that practically or not, it's a big dispute, but in any case, we see how amazingly important this concept is. And it's something that in this day and age, we're not so sensitive about. Sometimes people rebuke someone in public. Sometimes at Shabbos tables, people make the joke. In the classroom, people make the joke that will embarrass the guy publicly. The Gemara says that if you embarrass someone publicly and if you call them a name which embarrasses them, you lose your chelik in the olam haba. Whatever that means. The point is, we got to take this seriously. I'll end off with a beautiful story. Rav Baruch Ber Leibovitz was one part of the Musar movement, and he was very refined. And yet one Shabbos afternoon, he was eating chullent after chullent after chullent. He was eating the whole thing. And his wife was very shocked because she never saw her husband eating so much. He was a very refined man. So she peeks in and she smelled that the chullent was disgusting. She had accidentally, instead of putting oil, had put in some kerosene oil. Rav Baruch didn't want his wife to be embarrassed, so he was trying to eat up the whole chullent so his wife wouldn't see that no one else was touching the chullent. Amazing. You know what? I'll throw in one more story for you. It's a good one. The Heilige Chafetz Chaim, this picture here at the Simcha Center. It's the student of Cook behind us. The Heilige Chafetz Chaim was once at someone's house for Shabbos. And they had slaved the entire week. In particular, the woman had worked so hard to provide a delicious meal for the Gadol Ador, the Chafetz Chaim. They get to the Shabbos table, it smells delicious. Except there's one thing. The challah, it wasn't covered. When the husband sees this, he's fuming. He goes to his wife and says, how can you do this? How can you embarrass me? The Chafetz Chaim, the Gadol Ador. The Chafetz Chaim sees this and asks, why do we cover the challah? And the man says, so the challah won't be embarrassed. You know, we're making the blessing on the wine before the challah. It's kind of embarrassing. And the Chafetz Chaim says, you're so concerned about not embarrassing this inanimate object, but what about your wife? A human person made in the image of God, the person we should care the most about. And he got the Musar. We should be zoiche, to be sensitive, like Yosef Tzaddik was, and always think twice before we do an action or say some words which might, even if it's funny, even if it makes us look good, but if it might hurt somebody else, we should be very, very careful. That's your Bein Adam L'Chavero story for this week. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. Good Shabbos.